Look a little dark. Hi, horses. Hello. Okay. Whoops. Sorry about the timing mishap. We are back. We are live. We are in control. Thank you for subscribing. That's the first. This is the first and last time I'm ever going to thank anyone for subscribing. So, thank you, Buru5. I'm an unhealthy gamer myself. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna talk to you guys for a little bit. And then we will interview this coach. Why no notification for you? I don't know. Have you ever played D&D? No. What's the Thank you, Krun, for thanking him for subscribing for me. What's the story with the keyboard? This is an editing keyboard made by Blackmagic Design. There isn't really a story. It's just nice to edit with. It's got this shuttle. It spins. Yeah. Out of focus. Yeah. No, I'm out of focus. Looks good, right? Where's Mr. Boy? You mean Mrs. Boy? She's around. She's cleaning. How long does it usually take for your shirts to ship in the US? It depends. If it's one of the ones that I made, some of them I'm waiting for the printers. They were slow. And I've had some supply chain issues. The other ones should take like a week. Something like that. How many rotations can you get on one spin? 9. Hey, I watched a video about a guy who had sex with a dolphin. When are you going to do content on that? I don't know. I'll try to interview him. I don't know. I guess we would have a lot to talk about. Dolphins are pretty smart. I think smart enough to maybe consent to sex. Gain up, volume down, change computer fan, absorption on walls, new microphone, new room, new house. Deal. I actually have a lot of sound absorption in here. It's just all off camera. But I made acoustic panels. They're in a gigant. I made a 4-foot tall bass trap. It's 4 feet tall, 2 feet wide, and 6 feet long, and it's gigantic. It's once I get it cleaned up a little bit more in here, I'll give you guys an office tour. Are you still doing a vinyl release for your album? Not yet. I gotta sell these CDs and tapes first, and then see where people's interest is. Maybe. Do you get to Dr. K by defeating his henchmen like in a Bond movie? I think so. Yeah. I can't stop drinking soda. Kindly advise. Why are you drinking soda? Can you stop buying it? Is there someone else in your house buying it? I find it easier to not buy something than to not eat something. So I think finding a way to give yourself a little distance so that you can, if you have a craving for soda, if you can have soda in your mouth within 30 seconds, that's going to be really hard. But if it's like you have to like go drive to a store to get it, then it might be easier to stop. Someone else buys it. I fucking knew it. I knew it. This person's sabotaging you. You need to cut them out of your life. I think that you need to have a talk with them, and so it's like you can imagine if you're an alcoholic and there's someone in your house who routinely would pour a glass of like whiskey and place it into your hand. It would be impossible. I'm not saying that's comparable. I'm just saying like it's a spectrum of how available other people are making your thing that you're trying to stop doing to you. And you probably need to ask for support from other people and maybe set some boundaries. Diet soda is fine, right? Today I had diet vanilla Sprite. I don't know what you mean by fine. If you're trying not to drink, this person didn't say they're trying to stop it for any particular reason. They just said they don't want to drink soda anymore. So whatever their reason is, I don't know. If you're talking about like calories, there's no calories in diet soda, and you cannot get fat from drinking it. DM me the dolphin video or put it in the Discord. Come on into the Discord and slap that dolphin video down. Okay, he says he's ready. Is there anything we need to discuss, chat, before we welcome this healthy gamer coach into the lion's den? Are you looking for an editor, or are you waiting till you feel you need one? Right now, I don't think I need one, but I'm getting spread pretty thin. I think in the next year, I'll probably want someone just to do VOD stuff. Can you tease us about what you don't like about Dr. K? I think he's breaking multiple ethics rules, and I kind of don't like his approach within conversations and his overall approach to health. And he personally infuriates me. And that's all twisted up, and we're going to have to separate all that stuff out as I make my video. Opinion on recurring nightmares? Probably go to therapy and try to figure out what it means. I'll say this. The fact that you're having a recurring nightmare is one thing. The fact that you're aware that you're having it and remembering it during the day is another thing. And the fact that you're asking me what I think about it is another thing. And those all are meaningful independent of each other. So whatever it is, it's resonating with you. I don't believe in dream interpretation in super strongly in the sense that like the fact that you had it means something, but the fact that you're thinking about it, I would say that does mean something. And I would definitely I would recommend therapy. Would you do a sponsored interview with me after I launch the website I've been working for the past 4 years? I'll pay you in money. I just turned down a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship, and I'm turning down all sponsorships from everyone, no matter how much they are and no matter what it is. I right now vow to never take any sponsorships, paid ads, not even a free copy if I decide to review something from anyone. Even if I don't decide to review it, I'm not going to accept free stuff from companies just in the hopes that I'll eat their popcorn was the first thing somebody offered me on camera. No, no, no. Mr. Girl can't be bought. Could I convince you to dress up as a carrot? If you convince me, you convince me, yeah. Okay, he's ready. I'm starting the call. I'm going to wait like 10 seconds in case he's watching the stream so that he understands I'm starting the call because there's a delay. What about from NAMBLA? Well, yeah. I mean, I thought it went without saying. If NAMBLA offers me a sponsorship, obviously I'm going to take it. All right, here we go. Oh, wait. I can't hear you. I screwed up. Okay, wait. Can I hear you now?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you,
Perfect.
but I have to make it so people can see you. Give me a second. Okay. How's it going?
Going well. Yeah. Just got off of work. Had a long day. Started work at like 7, and I'm off now.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm trying to organize us so that it's we have some equal footing. I'm gonna make you like, yeah. Okay. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Max. Uh, you go by Max or Mr. Girl?
Either one.
Yeah. I think I'll go with Max.
Okay. People are are telling me to be nice to you. So I think we have a couple of things that we need to disclose at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of this conversation.
Cool.
One, you approached me about doing this interview.
Yeah.
Two, you just signed up to my Patreon.
Yeah.
So
I did.
you after agreeing to do the interview, after we agreed to do this, you joined my Patreon, thus financially entangling. And I appreciate that, but we do have to disclose that now we have a
Yeah,
financial
we have to.
entanglement.
Oh yeah. No. I thought I was on a different account when I subscribed to your Patreon or whatever.
Oh, so you
um.
wanted to
Yeah.
anonymously subscribe? I see.
Yeah. I didn't know I was on that account.
Well, I wish you hadn't screwed that up.
Yeah, me too, actually. Very
Yeah.
much so.
Um.
But don't worry, you don't have to be nice to me. I think we can just talk and see where it goes.
Um. Mr. Girl accepts a healthy gamer sponsorship. Okay, I think I'm gonna hide the chat because they're gonna be distracted. Are you gonna be? Are you looking at the chat?
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not. I don't really care what chat thinks.
Okay,
Um,
good. The
they
chat's
might
bad
freak
for
me
you.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, chat. I'm gonna hide you so I can have this conversation without being confused. Okay, so yes. Um. Do you want to? I feel like we both have stuff to say. Is that true? Do you feel like you have stuff to say already?
Um, already? No, I think somewhere down the line I got to ask you about like the one review that is the most important, and it's the well, you know the review.
Oh, the cuties review.
No, it's the fucking Detroit review. I really liked
Oh,
it.
oh, review.
Yeah,
The
that's
Detroit
yeah.
the Detroit Become
Detroit.
Human
The
review is the
Detroit Become
most.
Human review.
Wow, you think so? You think there's a future for me? There's a timeline in which the Detroit Become Human review
It,
becomes the most important review I've ever made.
yeah, it. I think so. I think the whole like, you know, forking timeline thing, uh, in that game kind of like applies to this
It
weird
could
world
happen
that
in
we're
real
in.
life. I
It could
see.
happen. Yeah.
That would be nice. I wish
Yeah.
that's what I was known for. Yeah, I like that review.
Yeah. No, I think it's probably my my favorite review you've done. I'll be
Okay.
honest.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Um. Okay. I'm making a video attacking Dr. K. I want to say I
Ooh.
started out making a video reviewing Dr. K. Then it became criticizing, and now I'm comfortable using the word attacking. But I would say a highly critical video.
Yeah.
You work for Dr. K.
I work for Healthy Gamer.
He owns Healthy Gamer.
He owns Healthy Gamer. Yeah.
You work for
There's a
Doctor.
bit so there's a bit of weirdness there. Yeah, I
Okay.
so the way I the way I see it is I work for a Healthy Gamer, and ultimately I work for my clients. You know, one of the things I tell my clients, session one, is like I don't give a shit about this Healthy Gamer stuff in terms of like if I think something might be, you know, damaging to you, and you know, and Healthy Gamer gets in the way of me helping you, then you know, do my best to help. I don't know what that could mean, but if Dr.
But you're
K ever
saying that
went
your
off the
loyalty, you don't want to give the appearance of being compromised by working for a
yeah,
increasingly shiny, clean corporation that wants to protect its own image. You're
yes,
saying you're saying if it ends up getting pitted against the health of your client, then you are on the side of your client.
100%. Yeah,
Okay. You still work for Dr. K.
we'll go with that. Yeah, I think that's the most honest way of putting it.
He
I'll be
has
more honest.
direct influence. So Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, right?
Hmm.
But I don't think he has editorial oversight over anything. I think he's this that according to them and him, the structure is he has no say in what they publish. Is there a similar power structure at Healthy Gamer, or is he more involved?
So I would say that early on, when we like go through training and stuff, he's pretty hands-on with regards to like, hey, these are the things that you should and should not be doing in session. And then
He's
beyond
personally
training,
training you in training.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then beyond the training, we kind of just fall into our own thing. Um, don't really communicate with Dr. K much. Um, like there are, of course, you know, instances where we might, communicate with Dr. K, and
Can you
maybe
give me an
he'll,
example?
yeah, during like meetings, for example, if we've got a
Okay.
meeting with other coaches, and we might, at that point, we might have some like input on, a client or whatever. He might have some input on a client, but he tries to leave it to the other coaches. And for the most part, I feel, well, I'll put it this way. I haven't seen Dr. K like on camera outside of the Healthy Gamer streams, which I don't even watch anymore because I work for a Healthy Gamer. It's kind of weird. I don't. It's like going to work.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I haven't seen him in over almost, yeah, over a year at this point. So
Okay. Um,
in terms of my like personal practice, I think that there isn't much input from Dr. K.
okay. Um, you have meetings where coaches share information about clients with each other to collaborate.
We will have meetings where sometimes yeah, we will share anonymized information with
Okay.
clients to collaborate. Yeah.
Are clients made aware of this
Yes, they are.
in the original agreement or whatever?
Yeah, and a lot of us, I think almost all of us, go ahead and let them know that from the
Okay.
start.
Um, what's the training like?
That's a tough question, mainly because, trade secrets and stuff. But for the most part, it's just didactic, just, him giving lectures, us practicing, certain skills and stuff. And
Are
really,
there
skills just means communication skills more than anything. A lot of coaches going in have like really poor communication skills.
are there any specific communication skills that you can discuss?
Yeah, there's one skill that he discusses actually in videos. It's the reflective listening. Pretty much, you say something and I just repeat it back. Right?
So reflective listening is you say something and I just repeat it back.
Exactly, like that.
Exactly. Like this. Um, any other skills that you can discuss?
Yeah, I mean, there's also stuff where stuff to help us manage our own emotions during, a session where, sometimes someone might say something that is maybe it's a little disturbing, right? Or maybe they say something that, pisses you off, or something that feels like they're being really, and I want to be careful. I want to be really clear with my language, but also, I want to be careful. The word resistance, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
when a client is being resistant, and that doesn't mean that they don't want to talk about something. Rather, that just means like I literally had a guy who pretty much just decided to like go off on me during a session, and like he teaches us how to deal with that kind of stuff.
Can you tell me how you would deal with that? And I not how you did, but how you,
Yeah,
whether you did it or not, the ideal response if someone goes off on you.
yeah. You kind of just point it out, like, hey, it seems like you're really pissed off right now.
Hmm.
What's going on? And then
Can
hopefully we talk about it.
can I ask what the kind of prime directive is when so you get a new client and they're sold in the coaching is sold in packages of 8, right?
I believe so. So I don't have any. I mean, I could go ahead and like go on the website and check all that stuff out, but I don't have
From
any
what I saw on the
visibility.
website, you
Yeah,
buy a package of 8 and it's $150 a
Mhm.
session.
$150 a session. I
That's what
think
the
it's like,
website says.
yeah, I think it might be closer to like $150 a block or something, like for 4 sessions or something like that. I think $150 a session would mean I'm getting like severely underpaid.
Yeah, let's find out. Healthygamer.gg. Sign up for coaching, creator coaching. Frequently asked questions. How much does coaching cost? Coaching sessions with a specialized creator coach are $150 USD per session.
Oh, specialized creator coach. So that's for so a while back, and this was made public, so I'm not disclosing anything.
Okay,
Uh, a while back we started like a creator coaching program, which is for, Twitch and stuff, and Amazon
I
pays for it.
gotcha. So that I could get creator coaching.
You could get creator coaching.
Okay,
Yeah.
starting at just $45 a session. Personal coaching.
Hmm.
Okay. Book personal coaching today. Sign in with Discord. I authorize. I accept the cookies. Wait, this is asking for a bunch of information about me. Date of birth. Sure. Well, it sounds if it's starting at 45, it sounds like it's probably a block of 4 for $45 a session, or a block of, if you buy enough, it gets down to $45 a session. So
Yeah.
okay, okay. I was gonna say 150 seems like a lot, but 150 if you're making enough money. Also, I see that they're partnered with Twitch, so that if I become a Twitch partner, then I get a free 8 session thing.
Yeah. And I think yeah, I think that's it. I'm not sure how they handle affiliates and stuff, but if you make partner, just as long as you're not coaching with me, because
Right.
that'd be
Yeah.
weird.
This is already weird.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So, what is your goal when you have a new client?
My
Do you
goal
have
when I have
a
a new client.
yeah?
So my goal is to get them into therapy.
This is your personal goal.
That's my personal goal. Yeah.
Um, Me too.
Yeah. That
You
I
okay?
think that's
Yeah,
why I decided to talk to you.
yeah, that makes sense. Um, you want to get them into therapy because you don't think you're a therapist.
Yeah.
It's like an intermediate step.
It's an intermediate step. Yeah, the way I see it is, unfortunately, I don't have the skill set to help anyone with their depression or anxiety or any kind of like mental illness. And I'm not even going to pretend that I do. In fact, I've got an AA in creative writing, right? Like that's my education,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I actually I like that because I don't have to go in there and pretend that I know any kind of like crazy psychology stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so it really allows me to just have conversations and then try to, over the course of however many weeks, convince them that therapy is the best option.
It, does that what does healthy gamer want your goal to be with a new client?
I think healthy gamer
I assume they
wants,
want people to stay.
yeah. So funny enough, I think that would like financially be the best thing. I think that, it would be a little dishonest to say that, you know, when you're making money with clients that you don't want your clients to stay for, a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we actually are really happy when clients leave. I think it starts to worry. Like it worries most coaches when clients
I'm
stay
not
for
talking about the
like,
coaches. I'm talking
yeah.
about the company
So
itself.
yeah, so it's weird. Because I can't talk for the company because the company
Well,
doesn't give us
is
much.
there any?
We're
Okay.
not incentivized to keep people longer.
I'm the company is though. So I'm
Mhm.
wondering if there is any official messaging about the topic of
No,
longevity. So
there is not. It,
there's nothing either way. There's nothing saying it's good for people to wrap up their coaching and move on with their lives, and there's nothing saying it's good for people to stick around.
I think it would be the first one, if anything.
Well, is there
There's like
anything?
there's conversations that we have, like, you know, with, I guess, during training and with other coaches and, with staff, and it pretty much is like get them in, get them out, try to help them, or get them in, try to help them get them out.
With
Yeah.
staff. Okay. I'm looking for official top-down messaging from Dr. K
Mm.
or the powers that be, but it sounds like you're saying that they don't talk about it explicitly.
Yeah, no. No, they don't
Okay.
they don't explicitly say either way.
Um, how long have you been a coach for?
I've been a coach since 2020 July. So like, yeah, July 2020. So that's like a year and a half. A little over a year.
Okay.
Around a year and a
The
half, yeah.
certificate you sent me was more recent. That's a renewal.
Yeah, that's like so we just did a thing where we got certificates and stuff. That's like a recent
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
Gotcha. Um, okay. So one of my criticisms of Dr. K is I think he gets in over his head in some of these interviews with people.
Mhm.
Um, in the healthy gamer training, at what point do you tell someone I can't help you with this? Is there a line that is drawn where you're supposed to say this is
Yeah.
beyond the purview of what we can do here? And if so,
Yeah, so
what is that line?
yeah, so one of the things that one of the things that I ask, and that I'm sure most coaches ask,
Yeah.
and then I'll go ahead and, yeah, I'll give you the personal anecdote, and then I'll give you like the broader thing. So one of the things that I ask when I go into a session is, hey, uh, you know, are you dealing with any kind of like depression, anxiety, any kind of like mental illness, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's important for me to know because,
Wait.
like,
I want to know the company's ethics. I understand yours.
yeah, Okay, fair enough.
I think yours are reasonable, and it sounds like the companies are reasonable too.
Yeah.
But I want to know what they told you
So
to do.
yeah, so for example, if someone, is threatening to kill themselves,
Yeah.
we have to we have to deal with that through like professional channels because we can't deal with that ourselves, right?
Hmm.
Or if, for example, someone says that they've got depression and we find that like they're having a really hard time getting through the program. Um, and what the program is, it's not, when I say the program, that makes it sound like there's like, 8 steps or whatever, depending on how many weeks you got. But that's not really how it goes. It literally is just conversations.
Okay.
Um, and if you find that you're like getting entirely too stuck with someone because of something like, hey, um, like a mental illness, right?
Yeah.
At that point, you would say, hey, it seems like this is really getting in the way of coaching, and like coaching isn't the place you need to be. And like that's pretty much what they tell us to
Okay.
say.
Is there anything more specific than that? So you're saying if somebody says they have depression,
Yeah.
you are still good to go to keep coaching them.
Yes, because we're not dealing with the depression.
Okay. So you're coaching them for more superficial issues. They can
Yeah.
make you aware that they have depression.
Mhm.
And do you are you supposed to tell them that you are not treating the depression?
Yeah. So the very first thing we go in and say is they sign all kinds of like forms, but nobody reads those forms.
Hmm.
So we go in and say the messaging is like, hey, I'm not a fucking therapist.
Yeah, yeah, okay. And
Very
so
first thing we say.
then if you determine that their depression is getting in the way of your ability to do your coaching, then you are supposed to refer them out.
Yeah, and that's where it gets weird, doesn't it? Because it's like, how do you
That's
know
at your
if they're depression?
discretion.
Yeah, that's where it gets really weird.
How why?
At least for me, I don't I don't know what I don't know enough about depression to know that, their depression is causing issues, right? And like that they really need help with this thing. So this is why I make it like my personal goal. And I think, most coaches make it their personal goal that when someone says, hey, I'm dealing with XYZ thing, let's help them get into therapy.
Because you don't think that you have the ability to accurately make that determination, so you just say, "Fuck it, I'll just tell everybody to go to therapy."
Pretty much. Yeah.
Um, is there any official messaging on what signs to look for? I'm just trying to find the line, if there is a line,
Yeah.
where if the client crosses it, then you are supposed to say, "I'm done." Is there anything more official or specific you can tell me, or is this pretty much it?
So if you're like talking to a client over the course of like, so let's say you're talking to a client about like doing their homework over the course of like, 4 weeks, and they keep saying that they're not doing their homework because they're laying in bed all day, right?
Wait, this
Like,
is an example though. I'm wondering
yeah,
if there's a
okay.
specific message that you have received of
So there's no like line in
if
the sand
okay, so
that's
it's
been
just
drawn. Yeah, yeah,
if the coach thinks the person is too
yeah,
depressed, then the coach is supposed to say, "I I can't continue with you."
yeah. I can't continue with you if you're not willing to go get therapy,
Okay, and if they are willing to go get therapy, then you can also continue with them,
and we can continue with them. Yeah.
but they have to be getting treated for whatever. So, um, in a weird way, you're tasked with diagnosing people with mental illness and determining at your own discretion if they have a mental illness that is
So
interfering with their
we
coaching, and then they need to be in treatment for that mental illness.
yeah, so okay, that's a good question. Kind of. What Because the messaging, at least on our side, is, hey, you need to go get it. an evaluation, and like go talk
But
to
you don't
someone
say that. But you
because
don't say that to. But you don't say that to every. I'm saying that
yeah.
you determine whether the person needs to get an
Oh,
evaluation. So
fair enough.
it's almost
Yes.
like a
Yeah.
pre-diagnosis that you are tasked with
Yeah.
making.
Yeah.
And I don't mean this as to be like a um huge criticism. Like I feel like
Hmm.
any kind of like if you're giving someone piano lessons and they
Yeah.
say I'm gonna kill myself, I think the same thing. You have to be like, oh, hang on, hold on,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is not
It's
like the
like that.
place for this, right? So I'm
And
not trying to say that that's bad, but it is
mhm.
a little messy
Yeah, it is.
because it's messy because on the website it says coaching can help you with anxiety and depression.
Yep.
Like it's advertised as a treatment for depression, and then they have to sign a contract saying it's not a treatment for depression.
Yeah. It's kind of weird.
Do you have you seen that on this? Like, are you aware that in the marketing
I'm yeah, I'm definitely aware of that in the marketing. I am.
okay,
And it is kind of weird because clients will bring it up.
okay.
And then
So
and then
they
at
say
that
you
go ahead.
no, you go ahead. When do they bring it
Yeah.
up?
Sometimes clients will bring it up like the first session. Like, hey, I saw that, helps like when you ask, hey, why are you here? Right?
Because I'm
Um,
depressed.
yeah. And then and it's like, okay, well, like what makes you think I can help you with your depression? And then
The
they'll bring that
website
up.
the website
Yep.
says you can help me with depression,
Yeah. And then
and
at that
then
point I'm like, I go into my whole like disclaimer spiel and all that. And then I'll say, hey, you know, there are things that are this isn't therapy, right? But like conversation can be therapeutic. And I know that sounds like a really weird workaround, right? Because that's what it sounds like to
the
me. It's what it sounds like to me.
are you supposed to say conversations can be therapeutic?
No, no. I That's what I'm telling you.
Oh, you're not telling them that.
Oh no, no, no. I'm not telling them that. If I
Okay.
made it sound like that, that was just completely like shitty conversation
Okay,
skills on my part.
I'm just trying to be clear
Yeah,
cuz
cool.
okay.
Yeah.
Wait, so what's your answer to them explicitly when they say the website said you were going to help me with my depression and now you're saying that you can't help me with my depression? So what gives?
Then I do the really annoying what I call the really annoying coach thing, and I just start asking questions. I say, well, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the fact that because I let them know that they can quit at any time, get a refund. Like if that bothers you, um, I think you should probably get a refund.
So you basically pass the buck there and say like this
Oh,
is your
oh
problem. This
yeah,
is your problem with Healthy Gamer and I didn't make the website. If you don't have a problem
yep,
with it, go get your money back.
a hundred
Okay.
percent. Yeah.
Okay. An understandable response. So what do they do then?
Most of them will be like, okay, cool. What can we talk about? What can we do? And then we move forward.
Okay, I have an ethical problem with that.
Cool. Shoot.
Well, just that you're advertising, not you, but Healthy Gamers
Yeah.
advertising treating that we can treat your depression essentially, and then the big print says we can treat your depression, and then the fine print says actually we can't treat your depression, and then it's like, well, click here to sign up, give us your money, and then once you give us your money, again, sign the fine print, and then I'll explicitly tell you we can't treat your depression. Um, it's like penis enlargement pills. It's like it'll make your dick bigger, and then if you look at the back, it's like it's not actually going to make your dick bigger, but thank you for the
Yeah, yeah.
money. I guess Healthy Gamer is seen as such a vital by his fans. Dr. K and Healthy Gamer are seen as such vital resources for helping gamers with depression. That's like what he's known for.
And yeah, I feel like that's definitely the sentiment from like a lot of the people who come in.
I'm getting angry
Yeah.
messages from people already just for talking about making a critical video saying Dr. K has helped me. He's helped so many people. Please don't do this.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
he I mean, yeah, I can see that, right? They feel like it gets into the weird like parasocial realm where it's like it's really
they
helpful.
love him.
This guy's my friend. We
Yeah,
love
yeah,
him.
they
Yeah.
love him and they want to protect him.
Yeah.
Um, oh my God, if anybody ever is making a video about me and my fans start messaging them saying, please, please don't criticize Mr. Girl,
Hmm.
I'm going to lose my shit. Poor Mr. Girl.
Why would
Everybody's
you
always
lose your
mad at
shit?
him. Why? Because
Yeah.
it's not your role to protect me.
Yeah.
I'm um I don't need protection. Like not from viewers or fans or
Hmm.
my audience. Um and especially like protect me from valid criticisms of me. Like that's self-inflicted. I put myself out there, and I all of the hate directed at me is directly provoked by me knowingly.
Yeah.
Um okay, so I have a few major problems now. Oh, are you going to get me a meeting with Dr. K?
Am I gonna get you a meeting with Dr. K?
It's just a simple
I can shoot
question.
I can shoot a message to a person who might be able to get you a meeting with Dr. K, and that's the best I can do.
Do you want to do that?
Do I want to shoot a message to a person who might be able to get you a meeting with Dr. K? Sure, I'll do it.
Do you
I
want
mean, I'm
to?
already putting like, do I want to? Yes, actually, yes, I want to.
You're already putting your job on the line?
Now, I'm already putting my neck out there. Yeah, it's gonna get chopped off. Maybe,
What do you
maybe
think's
not.
going to happen to you?
Worst case scenario, I get let go from my contract, and that's that. But I don't think it'll happen. I think that's just worst case. I'm a pretty pessimistic guy, and so I'm just assuming that by going on here, which is pretty stupid, right? Like, why would you do that?
Are you a whistleblower?
Am I a whistleblower? No.
You're not here because you agree with me exactly. You're here because you want to help me tell the truth,
Pretty much.
whatever that might end up being.
Whatever that might be. Yeah. I think the truth is more important than like me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's more important
Yeah.
than me too. But I'm not the one. Well, you know what? I am putting my neck out a little bit. I think I have a lot of Dr. K fans, and they're gonna be pissed. So it's a different kind of putting my neck out. Um. Okay, so I have a concern.
Hmm.
I think Dr. K is kind of a snake oil salesman.
A snake oil salesman.
Yeah, I think he's a showman
Yeah.
where he does these interviews
Hmm.
that are not therapy. They're described as not therapy. And then they're designed to appear to look like therapy. Where he's asking people about their childhood trauma within 20 minutes of meeting them. The person cries
Hmm.
if he can get them to cry. And then he alleviates their pain by changing the subject or meditation or something to make them feel, and then they feel good after they've cried. And that's like the show. It's like a TV show. I see it as that. And the
Yeah.
person is kind of manipulated, in my view,
Hmm.
an emotional explosion for the purpose of making it look like um, magical healing has taken place. In my experience, therapy is boring, tedious, hard, unpleasant, and not unpleasant in a cathartic, fun way, but unpleasant in a regular, unpleasant way.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Breakthroughs are subtle and um, uninteresting, and like watching real therapy would not be nearly as entertaining. It's like you're paying the person like Dr. K's therapy that he shows us it would be
Hmm.
fun to be a therapist. It would be super entertaining. But talking to someone in real life about their feelings for an hour or 2 hours is usually a difficult grating. The person's saying the same shit week after week after, and like I was a personal trainer, so I've had personal
Yeah.
experience with this too, where it's like, oh, we've been talking about this same fucking thing for 4 months, and you have not moved an inch, and
Yeah.
being the client in that scenario is not any different. You're aware that you're still harping on the same shit, and you're still doing the thing that you said you were going to stop doing, or you still haven't done the thing you said you were going to do, and it's just
Yeah.
over and
Yeah.
over and over and over. Dr. K makes it look like you can shrink all that down to 40 minutes or 2 hours, and to me that is the sales pitch of come to Healthy Gamer, buy my guide, buy my coaching,
Hmm.
and this could be you. It seems incredibly dishonest to say, look at this guy crying about his childhood trauma. Now go to my website that says we can treat your depression, but actually we can't. And actually, that wasn't therapy. And actually, you're not going to talk to me. And actually, the person you're going to talk to is going to tell you they can't help you with the thing that I made it look like we could help you with. And yeah, it's just like you're just like grabbing at an illusion, and the closer you get to it, finally, at the end, you have somebody who I think you're doing the best thing you could possibly be doing to say, this is not actually an organization that is going to help you. You need to go to another organization that will help you, and we will take your money along the way. And like, I don't see how inserting an entire company that inserts itself as the middleman between people who need therapy and therapists
Hmm.
is helping. Like, I think it would be better if he just hired trained licensed therapists, and then Healthy Gamer could just be like a therapy provider that like BetterHelp or any other number of organizations doing the same thing geared towards gamers and streamers. That seems like it would make sense, but like, why not do that?
Um. So at this point, I just would like want to make it clear, right? That like I don't have the answer to that, but I have like my opinion on like why they probably don't do that. And it's because it's if I'm being the most charitable, it's because that's like really expensive. Like it costs more to hire a
That's the
therapist.
most charitable.
I think that's the most charitable.
What's the least charitable?
The least charitable.
Yeah, what's less
Um,
charitable than that?
I mean, the least charitable thing would be, and from my perspective, it would be that, hey, pretty much the other side of that coin. Hey, it it doesn't make enough money. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, people
I don't
don't want to
yeah, I
pay.
don't know.
People don't want to pay a therapist hourly rate.
Yeah. That's expensive.
They want to pay $45.
They want to pay $45.
But in exchange for $45, they're essentially getting nothing. I mean, I'm not trying to downplay
Yeah.
what you're doing at you as an individual, but the company is literally saying we cannot provide you the thing that we said we could
Yeah.
in our advertising.
So
So it's so
so
to
this
me it's
is
like no,
yeah.
go ahead, go ahead. No, no, go ahead.
So this is where we get into a weird spot, right?
Yeah.
Because like in the advertising, it mentions like, I don't remember the exact number. It says something like 54% reduction or some shit like that. Also,
In what?
I noticed in like depression. I don't remember the exact number. My
Okay, some percentage
internet's going haywire.
okay, some percentage of
Yeah.
reduction
Yeah, some
in
percentage of
depression.
reduction in depression, right? Like our clients experience like X percentage of reduction in depression, X
Hmm.
percentage of reduction in anxiety. And it's like, we gather data, right? Like how we do that, uh, join the program. And then you'll find out how we do that. That sounds like really cynical. I just don't know if I can say how we do that. Is the problem, right? But we
Okay.
gather data. Yeah. And and so then we can definitely say like, hey, um, this is true. You can see a reduction in
Well,
depression. You
that's
can see a
yeah,
reduction
but
in
okay,
anxiety.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, you someone who calls or
Hmm.
anyone asking for help
Hmm.
or is willing to pay anyone to help them, regardless of whether that person can help them, is
Yeah.
experiencing an increase in motivation in their life. So
Yes.
it could be that you would see if someone was selling potato chips that are supposed to make you less depressed and people buy them,
Yeah.
they might report a similar reduction, especially if the potato chip company itself is doing the data collection and will fire anyone who tells anybody how they did it. So,
um. Yeah. I
wait. So
I don't know.
what is your purpose in saying and telling me this? I just
Yeah.
hold on. I just laid out my broad criticisms of what I feel is dishonest.
So it's surveys. There you go. I'll just say it. It's surveys.
That's
We
fine.
we just do surveys. Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, but I'm not trying to pressure you by saying that. I'm
Hmm.
just pointing out that there's a lot of trying to have it both ways here. So I'm laying out my broad criticism of how I
Yep.
think they're advertising mental health treatment with um, like dramatizations of therapy sessions that are not real and
Hmm.
that I think are inherently unethical within themselves. And then that's linked to come get treatment for your depression. And I guess okay. So before we get into the weeds of that, what do you want to say what you think of that broad critique?
Yeah. I feel it. It feels fair. It
Okay.
feels like a fair critique. It does. Because we're not therapists. We don't do therapy. I can't treat anyone's depression. Um, like, dude, if you're like super fucking lonely and talking to me helps with that, that's cool, right? And like,
Hmm.
sure, but still, and ultimately, this is why I try to get people into therapy because I don't think like Healthy Gamer can solve everyone's like problems, like all your problems. So I think it's a fair critique.
There's not a lot of people who are at the mental health level of I want to pay someone $45 an hour,
Mhm.
anybody, just to talk to me, who also don't need to be in therapy pretty badly. I feel like if that's where you're at, you also probably need some kind of treatment.
Yeah, this is where we get into like a weird place because not everyone is coming to us for things like depression, anxiety, stuff like that. At
Okay.
least not explicitly. Like not everyone says I'm here for that. In fact, most of my clients don't say that they're there for that.
Yeah.
I get a ton of clients who are like, "Yo, dude, I can't do my fucking homework," and so like,
Right. And then after you talk, then you have to kind of warm them up
yeah,
to the idea that they're depressed or whatever.
well, yeah, I try to warm them up to the idea that like, "Yo, dude, if you might be depressed, and like if you're depressed, you should go talk to mental health professional.
So you tell them you can't treat their depression, and then you try to convince them that
Hmm.
they're depressed because they probably are, and then you say, "Well, now that you're depressed, go to therapy."
um, that I have a problem with with the very last part. Convince them
Sure,
that they're depressed. Yeah, definitely. I don't try to convince anyone that they're depressed.
help them realize.
I don't think I even do that. Right?
You
So,
said, dude, you might be depressed.
yeah, so
How would you describe what is happening there if it's not some kind of pseudo diagnosis or
no,
suggestion?
yeah. You mind if I pull back a bit,
No.
right? And say, yeah, cool. Um, so my thinking with that when I said that was like at its simplest, it's this dude comes to me about his homework shit, and like if he can't get his fucking homework done, like what's going on here? And like if a dude tells me that he's laying in bed, all day, lying in bed all day, and that's why he can't do his homework, then I'll say, yeah, I'll give this pseudo diagnosis or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say like, hey, dude, it sounds like you might be depressed. Go talk to a therapist, see what they say, right? But if someone comes in and they do their homework, I'm like, all right, cool. Like we got done what we wanted to do. We did the homework. Now you should probably go see a therapist. Uh, and I just say that because I think everyone needs to be in therapy. Like
You think
our
everybody needs
parents
to be in
fuck.
therapy?
Oh yeah, like everyone's got like shitty parents, dude. Our parents fuck us up, and we
Not
probably need
mine. No,
therapy for
yeah,
that.
I agree. You think that everyone needs to be in therapy anyway.
Yeah.
So you're almost acting like you're like keeping people out of the hands of the other healthy gamer coaches who think that they can handle this.
I ooh, that puts me in a weird spot. But yeah, like I think that if there's a healthy gamer coach who thinks that they can handle the depression stuff, I'd rather the client come to me and talk to me so I can convince them to go to therapy. I haven't met any coaches who, you know, at least not like when we're talking, act as though, they're trying to be therapists about it in session and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
I could see that happening. I mean, you're talking about people, right? So
I mean, yeah, as a personal
people
trainer,
do weird shit.
I ended up talking about childhood trauma with my clients all the time.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, sometimes that'll come up in a session and it's like, oh
Mm-hmm.
shit. Okay, we're going there. Let's talk about it. And I think like at that point, I don't care if you have depression or anxiety or anything like that. I just say like, dude, that's really heavy. Probably go see a therapist. Like because I don't know what I can do about that. Like if you're talking to me about it, some like stranger on the internet, you probably need to talk to like a professional who can help you like deal with that stuff, sort it out.
Do you feel uncomfortable with any of this?
Any of this conversation
No.
or with healthy gamer stuff,
Yeah.
coaching. Yeah, I do. I'd be lying if I said I did.
Uncomfortable about the stuff we're talking about, or is there another?
No, I
Like
think
it
so.
sounds like you feel like you're in the at the crossroads of making ethical decisions frequently, which is even if you're making the right
Yeah,
decision, is just
that
kind of a weird
100% makes
experience.
me uncomfortable. A
Yeah.
hundred percent that makes me uncomfortable. Yeah, because I don't want to be responsible for like someone making a really shitty decision, like not getting therapy because they think they can talk to me for a year straight or whatever.
Yeah. Um. Okay, I have some more questions, but is there anything else you want to add about your like I guess qualms?
Um, n- no, I mean, not really. I just do think that it's unfortunate that there's a high likelihood that people can come into this feeling like this is a legitimate, come in feeling like it's like a legitimate, I'm blanking on the word, replacement for therapy,
Or that it
right?
is therapy?
Or that it is therapy. Like I had to do the whole like wink wink, nudge nudge. It's not therapy, and I'm like fuck, like you're putting me in like this really weird ethical place that I don't want to be in, and like let's call it out. And if you think this is therapy, like we can't move forward, which then puts them in a really weird spot because
Because
then
they're
they have to
lying.
like
They
lie
they
to me.
they have to lie to you for your
Yeah,
own liability, safety, and
and
for your own ethics. But you know they're lying, so it's like it doesn't really get you out of the jam.
and then I feel like at that point that's where, yeah, that's where I feel like things get way too muddy, and that's when I start suggesting like, hey, if you don't, if I don't start seeing that you're making like good attempts to get a therapist, then I'm gonna have to drop you, dude.
What percentage of your clients that you've had do you feel are like clinically depressed? That if you had to make that pseudo diagnosis, that you would think
If I
they're
had to
depressed?
make, yeah, um, I'll say a good like 30, 40%. Yeah, like
Can
one
you
in
tell me
three.
about Can you tell me about the other 60, 70?
The other like 67. It feels like it's mostly people coming in for like really boring shit, which I'm happy about. Where it's literally stuff like, hey, um, I'm working on my like master's thesis and I just can't fucking get to work.
Mm-hmm.
And what's up with that? And like most times when someone's coming at me with something like that, it's not depression. It's just, at least not, you know, from my perspective, it just looks like someone who's probably in the wrong major or getting the wrong master's.
Yeah.
And we talk about it, and then they're all like, yeah, this shit sucks. And then it's like, well, yeah, dude, it sucks. Like, go do something else. And then, or people with like, yeah, I'm trying to get a promotion at work, but and it's like, I don't know what I can do for you there, but let's talk about it. Why do you want to get a promotion at work? And we'll do shit like that. It's really boring in terms of like the types of conversations that we can have a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, it's either going to be boring and ethical or you're way in over your head. So it's probably better
Yeah,
if it's boring.
yeah. I like the boring stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to talk more broadly about Dr. K's like presence, online presence, or do you want?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, do you want to talk about Recful?
Oof. Do I want to talk about Recful? Unfortunately, I don't know much about the Recful thing, which
Three
sounds weird.
sessions. It is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, that alone, the fact that you said oof is like Recful killing himself seems to be
Yeah, I
seen.
know about that.
I know you know
Yeah.
about that, but it seems to
Yeah.
be seen by Dr. K's fans, supporters, employees, whatever,
Hmm.
as something that happened to Dr. K. Like
That
it's just like ooh, it's a
yeah.
sensitive subject. That was one of
No.
the worst days of Dr. K's life.
Oh no, no. I was saying like, oof. In the sense of like, I've seen that video. I
Which
think
one?
I don't remember who did it, but someone did a video where their whole
Oh,
take was like,
the slush TV video.
I think that's the one, yeah.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh shit, like I didn't watch the Recful interviews. I didn't, you know,
I'm watching
all I
them.
heard
I'm watching
was,
them all.
yeah. I would hope so. I would hope that you're watching them all.
I am. The slush TV video was a little soft in my opinion.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm going very focused on Recful and is going to be extremely pointed and critical. Um, so you haven't watched those sessions.
No.
Um, so without having watched them, I guess what is your what do you think of like the kind of narrative around it, or how does anybody ever talk about it at Healthy Gamer, or do you hear fans talking about it, or what do you think?
No. No. So shit. Maybe I'm the worst guy to talk about this one because as soon as I got the job, I closed myself off from like Healthy Gamer related media
Hmm.
because again, it feels like work. Um,
Yeah.
and like I don't want to talk about the stream, dude. Right? And I'm not telling you that,
Hmm.
but this is what I tell like other people who might want to talk about the stream. I don't want to talk about that. So so unfortunately, I don't have like a good handle of what other coaches and like clients think and like
Hmm.
fans think, but I do know based on that, on that video, that it seems like a lot of people feel like he might have mishandled uh,
Yeah.
how he interviewed, and like mishandled is the word I'm using. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's not the word you're gonna use.
No.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. From your
Um,
perspective, you probably like fucked it up like majorly, right?
yes, I think he fucked it up pretty bad. Um, what do you think about Dr. K's um, persona or public image generally? Then, do you have any thoughts you want to share?
Yeah, I think it's. I am very wary. Uh, I'm wary of Jordan Peterson, right? And
Yes.
so and so I'm wary of Dr. K because he's just like Jordan Peterson, but like on the left, is what it feels like
Um,
sometimes.
I would say Jordan. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say Jordan Peterson maybe admits a little bit more, but actually don't think he
Hmm.
does. I think he is the same humble. Why is everybody so mad at me? Victim. I don't know if this is what you mean, but I see a lot of parallels. What parallels do you see before I
Um,
interrupt you?
yeah, sometimes I'll see something in my feed and I'm like, oh man, Doctor, like I feel I feel like if I went through all of Dr. K's, videos, right, all the healthy
Yeah.
gamer videos, um, that I could come out feeling like, dude, I have all the answers,
Yes.
and that bothers me. That does bother me, right? That's what bothers me about Jordan Peterson. It's like, no, we don't have all the answers, buddy. Like you don't, and I don't think Dr. K does. And I think that unfortunately, like when you've got like experts, right, saying, "Hey, look, I'm an expert um in this thing," people can take that to mean, "Hey, I know the truth about this thing."
Hmm.
And I think that that's where it gets a little weird. Because like there are some things that are like just like fortunately, I guess. I was gonna say unfortunately, but there are some things that are like fortunately just kind of true, right? It's like, well, 1 + 1 = 2. That's just true. And so like you can give that kind of information and it's pretty safe. But I
Yes.
think that when you start talking about, you know, how to live your life, right?
He literally posted a video titled 12 Rules for Life. Dr. K did,
Yeah,
like a month ago.
he did.
He did. I thought it was a
Dude,
joke.
that's that's man,
I
that's
think it's the
interesting.
channel trailer. Let me see.
Because I know that's the Peterson meme.
Yeah. Healthy Gamer, GG,
I don't know
Home.
where we got the
Yeah.
idea for like what the rules of life are,
Top
right? Like
video is
where did
12
we
Rules for
get this
Life.
idea that
12 rules for life.
Top one, spawning is RNG. 2, life isn't supposed to be anything. 3, it's your choice to play PvP or co-op. 4,
Yeah,
there are world bosses. There is no respawning. Content doesn't expire. Beware people who sell walkthroughs.
yeah. So I don't feel we sell walkthroughs. See, that's where we get into like really weird ethical spots. And you would actually know more about about Dr. K's content than I would.
If you want to carry content, you need to be. The chapter thing is too short. Success is dependent on your raid guild. Any build is viable. Exploit the meta. And the final boss is you. 12 rules for life. Check out Dr. K's guide. I think I need to get Dr. K's guide, but I don't want to spend $50. But I might have to. Okay.
I'll shoot you $50 max.
No, 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 no,
You
no.
can get Dr. K's
No.
guide.
No. No. I don't think I want specific donation. Well, our I don't even know how to process our relationship now. Okay. Uh, uh, do you have any questions for me about this?
Yeah. Um. So I've been watching your what is it?
Advice and
Something.
confessions with
Yeah, there you
Mr.
go.
Girl.
Advice and confessions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I want to ask you about that, but now you're gonna ask me about it. Okay, go ahead.
yeah. And I've been watching your advice and confessions, right?
Yeah.
And I think you do like what I think is both the most helpful and like the most unhelpful thing on the planet. Which is tell people to go to therapy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it is at the same time the most helpful and most unhelpful. It's unhelpful because like no one wants to be told to go to fucking therapy, right? It's like, yeah, okay, but like a lot of people need to hear it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, but I think it's really cool that like you have this platform where people can call in, and I really like the confessions part,
Yeah.
right? Because it then you're not, and I don't think, well, fuck it, yeah, you're kind of like selling the advice part, but I think you also come off as this kind of dude who's like, yeah, I don't fucking know. Go talk to a therapist, right? Do I have a question in there? I guess
Yeah.
my question is like, yeah, what's up with the advice and confessions thing? What are you trying to
What
do
do you
with that?
mean? What am I trying to do?
Yeah.
Um, don't know. A couple things. One is I want to put out content where I'm like interacting with people on a more personal level.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a side of myself I can show there that I can't, except in some of my interviews,
Mm-hmm.
when they're interviews about really personal topics. But I think part of it is in response to the view of me as being a terrible listener and that I don't understand human emotions. Those were two pieces of feedback I was getting a lot when I first started streaming a few weeks ago. I already wanted to do a call-in show. The idea of it asking somebody who allowed themselves to be publicly branded a pedophile and rapist and all this other stuff, the idea of calling them and asking them for advice, I think is such an inherently interesting and almost funny concept that it just felt like just the idea of people being like, wait, you look up to this guy, like you're gonna call him and ask him, you're gonna ask him for advice. I feel like that's just so like funny and interesting. And it's also a way for me to like put a big moralizing stamp on myself that like not only do I say this stuff and make these provocative videos and rap songs and whatever, I think that I can like understand people and that I'm a good person. I think I'm a good person. And I want to be a good person, and I'm trying to be a good person. And not that I think not I think I know how people should live or what they should do, but that like yeah. I like the juxtaposition of that, like artistically.
Yeah.
Because it's confusing. It's a confusing thing that like the same person who's screaming I'm a pedophile on a school bus, also someone would call in and be like I don't like my girlfriend cheated on me and I don't know what to do about it or whatever. Also, I used to work with people really intimately as a personal trainer. Like all week, I would be talking to people about their lives, and I think I missed that. It's a side of myself I don't get to use too often. And honestly, as a trainer, I was probably overdoing it a bit. Like there are times where I had too many clients and was talking about stuff with too many of them too intimately. I wasn't able to set as good boundaries back then. So this feels like a safe, contained way to like make a kind of deal with the devil, where like I am allowing viewers to talk to me in a way that becomes less parasocial because we're actually talking to each other. And I'm exploiting them with the hope that it will also be helpful to them and anybody watching, and the hope that it will make me look like a human, because I'm not seen as human in a lot of my other content.
I think that unfortunately you're not. You.
I want it to be humanizing. I want it to be humanizing for everybody.
Yeah.
But also, it's also just a weekly thing I can do that seems to make me money and that I enjoy. So in another sense, it's just like a job that it's like a show and a job that I like doing.
Yeah. Are you ever afraid that like you'll get like some really, I want to be careful with my language, just because, fuck it, whatever. Some like really fucked up dude who's like, yeah, I got like 12 bodies, in my backyard.
No, that would be easy because then I would just like say, wait, like I'm disconnecting you, and we have to call the police now and give them all whatever information you give.
Yeah.
That would
Okay.
be
No.
easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would be
Yeah.
hard would be somebody who says like, sometimes I think about hurting my girlfriend,
Mm.
and then I have to decide, like, am I gonna say okay and poker face it? Am I gonna say, well, what do you mean by that? Or am I gonna say, I don't think this is a good venue for discussing this? Those snap decisions, I'm afraid I will get a curveball and I will make a bad decision. I'm sure I
Yeah.
will if I haven't already. That's what I dread, is the blurry ones where I'm like, it's very easy when someone's like, this is a story about my past, nothing is at stake,
Mhm.
and so you can just identify with me. But if somebody starts giving me other characters in the story, if they're like, that, like, my confession is that like my 4-year-old daughter, like, um is like passed out because she has low blood sugar because I forgot to make her breakfast this morning, and I forgot to make her dinner last night because I was drunk. Like, once you start including information about other people being harmed, then that hasn't happened, but that would get really confusing really fast. I do have
Yeah.
mods that are protecting me from some of this. I'm not involved in the selection process, so I have mods who are like, I think deciding if something's too fucked up or too boring or
Mhm.
too repetitive or too just seems like the person just wants to talk to me but doesn't actually want to talk about anything in particular. But yeah, the bigger the show gets, the more disturbing decisions I have to make,
Yeah.
and the more likely it is that I'm going to make a bad one. So I want to showcase empathy because I think it's good for me personally and professionally, and I think it's good for people to see. Um, but I could see having to shut it down at some point. I don't know if I answered your question. You asked me why I'm doing it. The answer is I don't know. Those are just guesses. I don't really know the answer.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
It's
I
it's it's
think
like
that's,
it's like a more immediate way for me to feel like I can interact directly with the people I'm trying to help with my videos. It's like a way to do the thing that I want my videos to do for people, to do it for a second, for real, with the person for a
yeah.
second.
Yeah.
I want to help people understand themselves, and I want to help people feel like they can connect with other people. And so it's a very tenuous, thin connection. It's anonymous, and it's voice only, and it's on a TV show and all this other stuff that I already said. But I think it's a way to show what I'm trying to do with all of it.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. I feel like I enjoy the content, right? Because like it's fun content. It's fun hearing Mr. Girl, right, say you need to call the FBI,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I enjoyed hearing that, right? There's kind of like a fuck up business to that, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's
Right? It's
funny.
kind of a train wreck. It's kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, it is kind of weird because like I feel like my job is weird, and
Mm-hmm.
when I listen to your advice and confessions, it feels like my job at a micro scale.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so then that feels really weird, right? And the reason the reason I think that it's at like net positive is the and it is the dude go get fucking therapy part at the end.
Yeah, I'm fine with the net positive framing for me, but I'm not fine
Yeah,
with it for Dr. K.
yeah.
Because
Why not?
I'm not beholden to an ethics board. The only ethics
Yeah.
board I have is friends who watch it and tell me if they think I'm doing a good job, and then
Hmm.
people, the public, watching it and telling me if they think I'm doing a good job. I think if the consensus becomes that I'm doing something unethical, then I will stop.
Yeah.
Um, the consensus among, not among fans, but among people, I guess I would consider to be neutral. I guess nobody's told me they think I'm doing something unethical until now. You're coming close to saying it. Do you?
No, I just think it's kind of weird. It's kind of like that, like I how I feel it about myself and what I do. Where it's like it's this gray zone thing, but not really because you're telling people to go to therapy at the end. And I don't think you're trying to like.
I'm not
I
advertising.
think
I'm
you're trying to.
advertising. I
Yeah,
can give you. I'm going. I'm. I would say I'm.
I can
I
give
would.
you advice.
But I don't even do that.
Yeah,
Not really. I
I
don't really. I don't really give any advice.
no, I th- I but I think even just the framing that you could give advice is fine because like do people go to therapists for advice?
No, I don't think so. They
Right?
shouldn't, because I think a
No,
good therapist wouldn't give you advice either.
no, they wouldn't. It'd be like really shitty.
I also think that what I'm doing is probably a lot more like therapy than people would think.
I agree.
Um, it still has the fast motion, fast forward problem that Dr. K has, where I'm like, get to the point where which a real therapist would never do and should never do.
Yeah.
Um, but in the sense of like a more unstructured, like whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about. But on the show, it's like, but it has to be interesting, and we have to be done in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is nothing like therapy. And like there's a crowd that even if I'm not looking at the chat, I'm hyper aware of whether what we're talking about is entertaining content or not. Um, yeah, it is weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Because I
Well,
can't give you concrete
the bigger
examples.
my fan base gets, the
Go
weirder
ahead.
it gets.
Yeah.
The more people revere me, the weirder it is.
Yeah, dude. What if you become the guy with the answers?
The answer, I mean, yeah, I think that's why my answer has to always be go get your answers from someone else, because I don't know. I think so. I'm gonna catch a lot of hate for making this video while
Mhm.
having my own advice show, and I'm not licensed, and I say some weird shit on the advice show. So
Yeah.
I think I don't. I think I have to confront this head on. Um, there's something about the way Dr. K has a prescription already made out, seemingly for every situation. Someone will so you'll say anything about your life, and then he
Mhm.
will immediately say, "Well, do you know why that is? Do you know why that is, Josh?
No,
Do
I
you understand?"
don't know
Right,
why
and
that
then the
is.
person's like, "Well, because," and then like they guess, and then he's like,
Yeah.
"Because of this," and they're like, "Oh, okay," and he's like, "Do you understand that? Do you get why?" Like the way he
Ah.
leads you through the conversation with questions that are not real questions.
Hmm.
And then he always has an answer to the question, and it just feels like a dialogue tree that he is leading you down with catch-all solutions for every problem. And I kind of want to do the opposite and tell people like whatever you think whatever you're assuming the solution is might not be right, and we just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
I
maybe I
think the
shouldn't
weird
be doing it.
the weird entertainment angle, right? That
Yeah.
like Dr. K has to ride this weird entertainment angle where it'd be really boring if you're just there talking to someone and like it goes absolutely nowhere, right?
He has to make it go
'Cause
somewhere.
he has to make it go somewhere.
Yeah, that's entertainment though. That's not. If he had an advice show, I don't think I'd be making this video. My problem is that he is a licensed psychiatrist telling people that he told Reckful that he would enter a therapist-client relationship with him, and then proceeded to violate every fucking boundary I can think of. Like he's just trying to have it both ways.
Yeah.
Even calling himself Dr. K implies that he is doing
Doctor
medical
shit.
professional doctor. Yeah, he's doing doctor shit. Yeah. So yeah, it's a mess. I don't know. But I'm furious at him. I'm recording myself watching these sessions with Reckful, and I'm screaming at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if
Yeah,
I hate him. I don't know if I hate him yet, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, well,
I'm having trouble. I can sit myself down and make myself empathize with him, but I have to try. If I don't try, I slip into hating him.
You beat me to my next question, which was literally going to be like, how do you personally feel about Dr. K? Because you're the empathy guy. Not only are you the cuties guy, but like you're also the empathy guy.
I hate him. I hate him.
Yeah.
It's when I let myself go. When I indulge. I hate him.
Yeah.
He's it's like if you took everything I hate about my father, everything I hate about myself, everything I hate about Trump and Jordan Peterson, and then put them all into one person.
Yeah.
And then made everybody. It's the same thing I hate about Trump, where everybody feels bad for him. Somehow he is a victim always, and everybody wants to protect him. Everybody wants to protect Jordan Peterson. Say, oh, poor old Jordan. And it's the same thing with Dr. K. I hate that. That reminds me of my father. The fucking bully who everybody feels bad for is a real sore spot for me. It really pisses me off.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you see Dr. K as a bully who everyone feels bad for.
Yeah, he's like mean. He's mean to people in interviews, and sadistic. Yeah.
Like I said before, I haven't watched enough of his content, but can you like walk me through that? What you mean by sadistic?
He says things intentionally to hurt people for his entertainment. It reads as he is listening to them spill their guts. That's how it looks. It looks like he provided a space for them to pour their heart out. But to me, it looks like he is ripping their heart out.
I can see why you would fucking hate that. Yeah. Right?
Like the most sadistic thing, the most explicitly sadistic thing I've heard him say is that he likes to tell his patients to help them get away from the idea of there being good feelings and bad feelings, is he likes to tell them to step barefoot in dog shit.
So I've never heard that. Holy shit.
Check it out. I don't know if it's true,
Yeah.
but he said it.
No, yeah. It's a fucking weird one. I've never heard that.
And that's the kind of nice guy bully thing that really gets under my skin. Because if somebody throws dog shit at you or tricks you into stepping on dog shit and points at you and laughs at you, then that's one thing.
fucked up.
But if somebody says, no, I'm helping you,
Yeah.
step barefoot in dog shit, let go of your idea that some feelings are bad, this is going to help you with your shame, and never explicitly expresses that they're laughing at you on some level, or that you're being humiliated, or that you might be humiliated, it's just it's terrifying to me.
Yeah.
I say I'm also scared of Dr. K.
You're scared.
I keep saying I want to talk to him, but I don't think I really do want to talk to him. I hope I keep reaching out on every platform I can, and I'm telling you that I don't want to talk to him. I'm terrified of him.
You don't want to talk to him, but
no,
but you'll talk to him.
I know I should, and that I have to if I can, but I don't. Emotionally, personally, I don't want to talk to him at all.
Yeah. What are you scared of?
He's extremely controlling, and I don't think has empathy for other humans. And I don't think he cares about other people, and but he can pretend he does fairly well. I don't think that well, but other people, based on people's reaction to him, extremely well, and that scares the shit out of me. And he's powerful. He has like a legion of people behind him. And then the personal stuff where he reminds me of my father, where like I'm being bullied, I'm being subjugated, I'm being abused, and somehow all I can feel is guilt for how pathetic the person hurting me is. And he evokes that in me. And so does Jordan Peterson, so does Trump.
Yeah. And that book fucker.
Book smarts. I feel guilty about book smarts. Yeah, same exact thing. Book smarts pushes me around, and I feel guilty. And I'm like, as I call him out on it, I see he's wounded. And I'm sure my video is. Someone messaged me on Twitter today and said, I'm worried that you are going to turn public opinion against Dr. K, and people are going to say such hurtful things about him that he stops making content and I'll be left alone.
How'd you feel about that when you saw that?
The same feeling of like guilt, of like, but also rage. It's a cycle where it's like, he's pathetic, but he's wielding power unethically, and that to me ended up with somebody dying.
Yeah.
Publicly. Which is like an explosion of grief throughout his community. So I think he really fucked up, and then the only way he's addressed it is by crying and making people feel bad for him. So it feels the same as Booksmarts. It feels like and Booksmarts does not have this platform, and Booksmarts is very young. So I want to be clear that like I don't think Booksmarts is destined to behave this way forever. And I don't think he is nearly as destructive a force, or even I don't even think he's a destructive force. I think Booksmarts is like fine. Interpersonally, he triggered me in this same way.
Yeah.
Where I'm angry, and then I see how wounded the person is, and I'm sure if Dr. K watches this or any of my videos about him, he will be wounded, I'm sure. And then I feel guilty. And then it quickly turns to like, well, why I feel guilty because somebody should be taking you to task for this. Like, you can't do this. You cannot ethically do what you're doing. I called the ethics board in Massachusetts, or not the ethics board, his licensing board. They haven't called me back, but I left them a message, and I felt horrible the whole time. And I'm like, why do I feel horrible? This guy is publicly breaking ethics on stream for money in a way that I think is damaging to the audience, and the person he did it with killed himself.
Yeah.
After clearly expressing he was suicidal, he still did not refer him out. And yet I feel guilty calling anyone to ask them for a response or a quote, or like trying to get a professional to come on the record and say, like, what do you think of this? I feel like I'm ratting on him. And then that brings rage of like, why do I feel bad for my tormentor? Then that makes me more angry. So yeah, it's a dark, spiraling pit of hatred.
Yeah.
That I
That's fucked.
Yeah.
So what would it mean to you, like, if the ethics board did, or whatever it is, right, did get back to you, and then they said, yeah, he's good, he's good to go, he's chill?
I would be relieved. I'm most comfortable when I am shouting. I feel I'm most comfortable being impotent. I'm at my best when I'm like, I'm making really good content. Nobody's really watching it. I spent 2 months and like $1,000 on this video, and nobody gives a shit about it. Nobody watched it. I'm at my best when I'm broke. I'm making good content. Nobody's watching it. Nobody's listening to me. Nobody believes in me. That's where I feel most comfortable.
Yeah.
If I actually affected his livelihood or career in any way, I would have to confront a lot of demons. I've always been, since childhood, terrified of standing up to authority and actually winning. I've always been very good at pretending to stand up to authority, but to actually mount a successful response that might actually make a real difference, and I know intellectually could actually save some people's lives, could force him to rethink his approach to this and to own up to some of it and to be more ethical going forward. That, like, those are the things that propel me. But yeah, emotionally, I would feel terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How would it's a
standing up to a nice bully is always, I think, for anybody, feels terrible. The person who's is your friend and they're acting like your friend and they're nice to you, and then they just occasionally violate you somehow. That's how he feels to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you feel, right? It's a stupid question. I know, because I'm coming up with it. Trust, it's dumb.
I don't think either of us think you're stupid.
Yeah. Nah, yeah. I don't think I'm stupid, but it helps. It helps
take the pressure off.
Yeah. That's how I got through like my public speaking class, by like just assuming everyone thinks I'm dumb.
Okay.
And then like rolling with that. So, like, what if I, reach out to you like after you put the video out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yo, dude, we all lost our jobs. What the fuck, right? Like, how would you feel about that?
Don't work for Hitler.
Don't work for Hitler. Yeah. Makes sense.
I wouldn't feel bad about you losing your job.
Yeah. I wouldn't either.
I would feel bad about you losing your job if, as a result of this conversation, I don't like the idea of you being naive and losing your job because of that. But if you all lost your jobs, what, because they're going to switch to licensed people, or because the company goes out of business? I guess either one.
No, yeah, because public opinion has shifted so much.
No, you don't understand. You don't understand.
Yeah.
The guilt is not about actually doing anything bad. It is specifically about standing up to my tormentor.
Okay. I feel you.
It is guilt about... This is why people can't stop people when they're sexually abusing them.
Yeah.
It's the feeling of like, I would be the aggressor if I told you to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And people like Dr. K always give you that feeling of like, everybody is already racked with guilt about my video and I haven't even made it yet. Everybody I talk to is like, oh, but are you, maybe you should wait a few weeks. Maybe you should wait till he talks to you. He can explain this. We can explain. And then it always comes down to the net good thing of like, well, whatever mistakes he's made, it's like everybody's having anxiety attack. Like, is this guy who's supposed to be the pinnacle of mental health is so fragile that no one can criticize him? That is the guilt. It has nothing to do with I don't feel guilty for you because you don't come across you come across very much like you own your own shit. You take responsibility for your own decisions. You're not going to blame me. You're not going to blame it on other people, and you're not going to try to get me to blame myself.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't.
So I wouldn't feel guilty. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. But I wouldn't feel guilty because you wouldn't try to make me feel guilty.
No. Yeah.
The worst abusers are always the ones who make you feel like if you set boundaries with them and said, stop, you can't do this. What you're doing is wrong. You are the aggressor. At least to me, those are the ones that get under my skin. And so that's what's terrifying about talking to Dr. K, because he does not and maybe cannot see himself that way.
Yeah.
So I would just be gritting my teeth through, fighting through the guilt to remember my own fucking identity throughout the entire conversation. And that sounds terrible.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the boring answer and say yeah. Like, I wish I could like fight you on that, but just because it would be more entertaining or whatever. But no, yeah, I agree. It sounds.
You agree about what? That's how I would feel.
Yeah, well, not just that. That's how you would feel, but it sounds really fucking scary to put yourself in this position where you feel like you're standing up to a bully who at the end of the day might make you feel bad about yourself for just
I mean, I already feel. Oh, I don't know. How do you feel? Do you feel like you're standing up to Dr. K, or how are you feeling about this?
How am I feeling? I don't feel like I'm standing up to Dr. K. Not at all. I'm just having a conversation with a dude, and like that's that.
Just having a conversation that might cost you your job.
Yeah.
All right.
And even I mean, I know that it might cost me my job, but like if it does, that sucks. And if it doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised either way, actually.
It would be embarrassing for them to fire you for doing this. And it would bring a lot of attention to this video if they were to do that. So I'm guessing they won't.
Oh, that feels unethical on my part, actually. Maybe I should have thought about this.
What's unethical?
To put them in that weird position where it's like, this dude's out here having this really weird conversation with this really weird guy, right? Not that I think you're weird, but like this might be the thought.
They might well, you know what? They might think I'm weird. Okay, continue.
Yeah. No, fuck it. I think you're a little weird. Yeah, you're a little weird, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And you know, have this weird conversation with this weird guy, and it's like, why? If at the end of the day all he's gonna do is like try to do this tear down of Dr. K and like, hey, maybe you're not like on the team. Like that's my fear. It's like you're not part of the whole like one team, one dream thing. Not that we say that there. That's a meme at my other company, but
Well, you'll find out whether the team is we want to do what is good for the community, or we want to do what is good for Dr. K. Because criticizing Dr. K can't be bad for the community. It can't be bad to raise criticism. Like, unless I'm making stuff up. If I'm lying,
Yeah,
then sure. That's like
100%.
a hit piece is not good for anybody. But if it's legitimate, fair criticism of him, that can only be good for the community. So I feel like if they fire you for lending your voice to that, then I don't know. I think that says something. That says that the team is really about protecting Dr. K.
Yeah. I think you said it like it was during the Richard Spencer interview where you talked about, dude, I'm fucking losing it. I had the thought there. You were talking about like ideas and like, there you go. That's what it is, right? Like if you're telling the truth, right? And like at the end of the day, I don't think you're out there telling lies.
The better
right?
ideas will flourish.
The better ideas will flourish, right? And then at the end of the day, I think that like the truth can flourish. And like if he's doing, if this thing is on the up and up on his side, and it's all good and everything's, rainbows and ponies and all that, like cool, great. And then if your video comes out and then it just turns out that everyone's like, whoa, hold on, this is really fucked up. The truth of this is really fucked up. Well, then I think that's fine too. I think it's fine to do good, right? That's like a really weak position to take, that it's fine to do good, but
that's not a weak position if you're willing to risk your job over it. It becomes much more compelling. Do you idolize Dr. K, or did you?
I did. And then we had meetings and shit, and I was like, oh, he's just a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like kind of hard to, like, after this conversation, I don't think I will have the same perception of you, right?
Right.
Because now you're just a dude. You were just a dude before, but like, there's like this unattainability of like, oh shit, I will never be able to.
Yeah, we've talked, and I respond to your DMs, and I messed up the time. I make mistakes. I'm
yeah, you're human, right? And like that's what happened with Dr. K. Yeah, just became human. So
yeah,
and I think based on the last time, I talked to him, which was like a year ago at this point, we're on pretty good terms. Yeah, it was like, hey, Josh is cool. I hopped into a meeting, and he's like, oh shit, it's Josh. Haven't seen you in a while. I was like, oh, hello, Dr. K. Let's talk about clients and shit. And there you go. And yeah, and I think I'm okay with, at the end of the day, people's opinions of me souring. Yeah. Why? Like if your opinion of me is going to sour because I talked to Max Carson and he's a bad person, right? Then fuck you. I don't know. I can't talk to people.
Yeah. How many coaches are there?
Fuck, I don't know. It's a lot. I don't know.
Well, like 60 or like 200?
I would say it's like 60, maybe more. Yeah.
Mr. Girl coaching.
Yeah, dude, let's do Mr. Girl coaching. Just hire me, Mr. Girl.
You come work for me. Exactly. You lose your job, you come work for me. Well, anybody, advice and confessions, 24 hours a day, on call, 69 cents a minute. Anybody can call in. We're there for you. We're here to help.
We're here to help. Yeah. like being quiet. But I also appreciate it. Lets me gather my thoughts. But I have to keep saying stuff to make myself feel better. You mind if I ask a question about
No, go ahead.
yeah, video game reviews? What so I love the fucking cookie. Like I'm gonna be honest, your video game reviews are like it's my favorite content. Um, there I think I mentioned in the DMs that you kind of remind me like of. It feels like a bite-sized version of Tim Rogers. I don't know if you know that guy. Yeah, yeah. It feels
I've
like
met him.
bite-sized Tim Rogers.
I've met him
You've
before.
met him?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
What was that like?
He's an interesting
He's just
fellow.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
He said the funniest thing was he was like Vito introduced us. And he's like this is my buddy Max. He's got a YouTube channel. He's a YouTuber, mrgirl. And he was like, "Oh," and he's like how many subscribers do you have? And I was like 452. And he was like 1,000? And I was like, "No." And he's like,
Yeah.
Cool, okay, cool." Like, yeah. So anyway, like, what's up?
Yeah.
But yeah, we played Sega Genesis at another guy's house. It was fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a thing someone would do with that
It's
guy.
very Tim
Yeah.
Rogers activity.
Yeah, it is very Tim Rogers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, his reviews are like 4 hours long.
Yeah, I mean that's why I like his content. And then the
Yeah.
reason I like your content is because you give me like a bite-size, version of that with the video game reviews at least.
Is this a question? You said, can I ask you a question?
Oh yeah, the question is like, are you gonna keep doing video game reviews, man?
Only when I feel like it. I mean, I think that probably part of why they're good is I only do them when I really, really feel like I moved to. So if it, I don't know. Probably.
Yeah, because you never do the meme, right? Like this makes you feel like you really feel like Spider-Man in this one. It's like that's boring, right?
Yeah.
This is why like I have to stay away from, fucking.
There's a guy's making a game about the Holocaust. And I follow him on Twitter, and we've been talking, and he said, let me tell his name. Fuck. What's his name? I think it's Luke. Luke Bernard is making LUC Bernard is making a game called The Light in the Darkness, the first video game about the Holocaust that will launch on Xbox in 2022. And I've asked him when he has a build that is stable or demo ready, whenever he's ready, to let me play it on stream and interview him about it. I want to start doing some video game interviews, like anything weird or interesting or different. If they want to come on Twitch and talk about it, I want to do that. But yeah, reviews I think will be when something really speaks to me.
Yeah.
Also, it's hard because I only ever play The Last of Us. So it's rare that I even play a video game that is not The Last of Us or Smash now. Or I guess
Yeah,
Halo. I was playing some Halo earlier too.
Halo.
Yeah.
I can't get into the latest Halo multiplayer. It just feels really weird. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's because I play dumb shit like Siege.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not as cultured as Siege.
yeah. So, but no. Actually, on The Last of Us, I agree with your take that this is like that shit's the best.
It's the
Like their
best. Yeah,
multiplayer.
it's the best online
Yeah,
multiplayer of any game ever.
yeah. It
Still,
really is.
9 years, 9 years running. Never
Yeah,
seen anything come close to it. Yeah.
yeah. I would have to agree with that. I I stopped playing it just because I'm impatient and I can't
Yeah,
wait
yeah.
for. Yeah,
It's like chess.
yeah. But
All right, listen. I feel like
yeah,
we should wrap this up.
we should.
Do you have um, anything else you want to say about Dr. K or Healthy Gamer?
Yeah. Hey guys, let me keep my job, and that's about it. Um, no, um, no, for that, no. It was. I appreciated listening to your concerns there. That's it.
And I
Thanks for having
appreciate
me on.
listening to yours.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Cool. All right, you can hang up now. Do it.
I will. I will. All right, bye.
Bye.
Let's look at the chat. Good chat. Good talk. Chat. Good talk. Oh, wait. He doesn't want to leave. Damn, Mr. Girl, you destroyed his career. Thank you, caller. If this guy killed himself, would we also blame Mr. Girl? Yes. All right, time to read donations. Everyone donate now. Open wallet, send money now. Why do you pause for so long? Because I'm thinking about what I'm saying. I agree with Mr. Girl's takes on Dr. K for the most part, but this made me feel weird. Why? Because I divulged so much of my personal psychology around the topic. Made you feel dirty, didn't it? Made you feel dark and dirty. You should have gone in deeper. Call Dr. K, he's crying. Chat has been awful this whole time. I believe you. Are you going to start charging $45 a call-in? I think once the platform gets big enough, I will be averaging $45. There was a night where I probably did average $45 a call-in. So the money doesn't have to come from the caller. It can just come from anywhere, and I'll be happy. He seems like a nice dude. That was pretty honest. I think so. That went better than I expected. Yeah, he was very good at being a fan of me, being a fan of Dr. K, and yet seeming like pretty like impartial. He should be a family therapist. You realize he was in coaching mode with you a bit before the silence. Why do you feel that way? What makes you say that? I do. Yeah. He was asking me about my feelings, but I think it's important that I be open and honest about my emotional state when I am. I guess when I'm doing anything, I want to be transparent. He seemed like he felt dirty about the whole operation. So do I. I think you're way off by blaming Dr. K for wreckful. Okay, let me make this clear. I'm not blaming Dr. K for wreckful. Okay? If you're smoking in your house and you fall asleep and that cigarette falls in your trash can and your house burns down, that's your fault. If a fire truck pulls up to your house and says, I don't feel like putting water on this right now, I'm going to live stream myself dancing in front of this burning house so that people will follow my channel. I don't have to blame. That's just an example. It's not a one-to-one metaphor. But I don't have to blame the people dancing for the fire. Those are different things. So I'm not saying anyone killing themselves is anyone else's fault except their own. I'm saying I think he mishandled the situation. And I don't know what would have happened if he'd handled it better, but I know that he mishandled it. At the start, you mentioned credentials. Was the type of credential shared? Yeah, it was just a healthy gamer, like an internal company certification that he is a coach. Would you be interested in talking to a coaching client and why they went to coaching? I don't know. I'd be interested in hearing about it. Reckful didn't get off the last call with Dr. K and immediately kill himself. He spoke to other people between that time. Are they also suspects in the cause of his death? No. I feel like I already responded to this, but no, I'm not saying he's a suspect. I'm saying he has a ethical duty as a mental health provider to not do what he did. He fucked up. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about causality. I'm saying he fucked up. And he fucked up in a case involving somebody who did end up dying. That I'm not assigning causality, but it's worse. It's worse to break ethical rules, when the person you broke them with ends up killing themselves. I think it's much more serious and much worse. If you'd done all the same things and that hadn't happened, I think my video would be very different. I would be much less furious at him, for sure. How would you justify or seek to justify any of the actions you're condemning from Dr. K if you were to play devil's advocate for a bit? Specifically with Reckful? Reckful said he was not interested in therapy. He might have thought this is the only way he's going to do this. He might have thought we have to do this on stream because he's only going to be willing to talk to me if it's for making content. Maybe he thinks he's a workaholic, and so he's like, this is the only way, this is my only shot. I might not be able to help him, but I'm going to do the best I can with the situation I've got. And, I'm not going to let some ethics rules tell me that I can't try to, this is a person, person to person, man to man. I want to try to help this guy. I could see that. I think they're terrible arguments, but a devil's advocate, yeah. Advice and confessions is totally different. It's not totally different. It's just, I think, more honest about what it is. I mean, it sounds dark and fucked up, just the title. It ain't Healthy Gamer GG, and yeah. What it is might be similar. It's the framing. And I've never had someone call in and say, will you be my therapist? And then I say yes. That's not exactly what happened, but it kind of is what happened. They had a 95% explicit agreement to enter into a therapist-client relationship. So it's the framing around the conversations. The conversations, I agree, could be similar. When you complain that people defend public figures, do you think you overlook... Okay, will you guys stop asking me questions like this? I want everybody on Earth to stop framing things this way. Just say, imagine if you... Okay, do you think you overlook that they are defending the ideas that they associate with those figures as much or more than the figures themselves? Why don't you just say, I think you are overlooking this. When people defend public figures, they're probably defending the ideas more than the figures themselves. And then I don't have to translate what you're saying into like a direct statement, because you're just making a statement. Stop asking me if I think what you think. You think it. I want to hear what you think. If you're going to criticize me, just say what you think, and then I don't have to jump through the hoop of trying to figure out what you think by like parsing it out. Yes, I think I overlook that. To some degree. Yeah. It's not, I didn't talk about it, and I don't know if I've thought about it. 12 rules for life. Yeah, so how much of Healthy Gamers or Dr. K's teachings require you to be infatuated with Dr. K himself in order to feel like they're helping you? Yeah, that makes sense. People get attached to the figure, and the ideas kind of come along with that. I don't think that's good though, because like Josh said, he's just human. We're all human and fallible. And an ideal like for how do you want to live your life doesn't have to have all the weaknesses of a human. So yes, they probably are defending his ideas, but I don't think he should be idealized. Especially if it means that we can't. The problem is that if we can't, he has a lot of power. So if we can't criticize him and take him to task for abusing power because of this structure, then I think the structure needs to change. There has to be a way to cherish his ideas, cherish what he's done for people, love what you love about him, but also we need to be able to criticize people who are even as powerful as me. Once your platform gets to this size, you have to be taken to task. You implied you should be able to give dog shit advice to depressed viewers because you don't actually have qualifications and therefore red tape like Dr. K, so it's not unethical. I don't think giving dog shit advice is... Yeah, basically. It's not even that he has qualifications, it's that he's using them and blurring the lines. Like, if he called it, like, depressed, overworked, resentful asshole manipulates you into crying, I think that would be more ethical. You don't need to follow ethics considerations once you are that blunt about what you're doing. My problem is that he's making people think it's therapy, which means he is then ethically bound to do therapy ethically, and he's not. I feel like he is going to get a lot of shit from his fellow coaches. Yeah, probably. I think you need to be careful with his takes. He's more a fan of you than Dr. K now, I think. Yeah, probably. Yes, I agree. And I have to think about what that means in my editing process. Reckful had already given up on other treatment and sought out a personal relationship with Dr. K when he felt like he had no other options. Yeah. I haven't gotten to past the third stream, so we'll see. How would you justify or seek to justify... Oh, I answered that already. Okay. I don't think you were right about Dr. K preconceiving conclusions to problems and asking fake questions. I think he just has a way of navigating to the end of a conversation that is very methodical. I still think he's railroading people on a track. There are ethical issues with what Dr. K is doing. I'm of two minds. I'm glad it's being called out, but I worry that more people aren't just going to die if you achieve your ends, that you actually succeed in slapping your tormentor. You're worried, but more people are going to die. How many more people are going to die before we put Dr. K behind bars? Do you understand you're heavily implying that he caused it? I'm saying I think he should have done something that could have resulted in stopping it. If he had done that, then I would not be watching it thinking that anything close to that he caused it. I'm not saying that you can save anybody's life that you try to save. I'm saying he broke the rules. And they're good rules. Don't you think you end up... This is another question. don't you think you end up making too many inferences about the whole situation looking through the lens of available video now rather than knowing Reckful personally back then? No. Okay, from now on, anytime you word a criticism of me as a question, a yes or no question, I'm just going to say no. But I will respond to this one. That's not fair. That guy killed himself. We cannot like. Yes, I openly admit that my response to his videos would have been pretty negative, but it would not nearly be. It would not be the wrath that I feel right now. But it happened. That's why I'm watching them. That's not a defense. You can't defend Dr. K by being like this colossal fuck up. Don't you think you're like upset by it partly? Like, isn't this just Reckful's fault? Like, no, I don't think so. Mr. Girl, you give dog shit advice to depressed viewers, but act like you're on a moral high ground because you don't have red tape over the psychiatrist who ironically has quality. I feel like you already said the same thing. Yeah, that's kind of true. Dr. K did quite a lot of off-stream sessions with Reckful. I would like to know more about those. Did you say you were working on a video reacting to the Reckful and Dr. K videos? Yes. That will be part of the big video. I think I'm just going to make one big video. I want to sub, but your emotes are poopy sadness. Shaylin, finish that emote you're working on. Let's make some money. If Dr. K agrees to talk to you, Steven said he'd be down to moderate it. Would you let him? If so, whoa, it's Belina. Jesus. Yeah, absolutely. I would let Dr. K, I would let, of course. I mean, I've already exposed that I'll be horrified, but, and more horrified with Steven moderating. I can't think of a more inappropriate person to moderate this than somebody who was friends with Reckful. But sure. Yeah, I would let him. I would advise him personally. On a friend level, I would advise him against doing that. But you know how Steven is. He won't listen to that. You know better than anybody. I just had a difficult discussion with my girlfriend because your description of bullies who make you feel guilty for setting boundaries blew my mind and has made me reevaluate a lot of my relationships. Yeah. It's really empowering to hear other people talk about that. It really helps me. I have a friend who we talk pretty regularly, and he very specifically hates nice bullies, and it's like feels so. I'm like, I was thinking about him while I was telling the story, where I'm like, it's like, yeah, because it's like a gaslighting kind of bullying where it's really confusing. So it helps me to talk about it with other people to be like this exists. It's really happening, because what makes you feel guilty is the person often doesn't know they're doing it. They're not trying to hurt you. They are just they're very defensive and guarded themselves, and like in denial. And so there's like no one. If someone admits that they're trying to hurt you while they're hurting you, it's much easier to stand up to them. He's reading donos. Oh yeah. Okay, wait. Did I miss a response from Melina? I know I talked a lot of shit there. Melina, Pog. Okay. Pog indeed, Melina. Pog indeed. Okay. Let's look at our donations. Tip history. Donation from Dr. K for $3. Bring it, bitch. It's on now. You slapped me in my own donations. Dalaban 0037 gave me $50. Thank you. Love you, buddy. Have fun. Be careful. P.S. You should stream on YouTube more. Thank you. My initial Twitch partner application was rejected because they said I grew too fast. So I need to show that I can maintain my audience for 2 more weeks. Then I'm going to see what they say. If the deal looks good, if they offer me a deal, then I will sign it. If it doesn't, I will probably tell them I want to start dual streaming or ask them if I can come up with some kind of agreement and then figure it out from there. Midnight Palms gave me $5 twice. These are the messages. Would you be interested in discussing Dr. K either on or off stream with me? I don't necessarily think you're wrong about Dr. K because I'm open-minded to the possibility, but I have found the info he provides very useful. Discord username if you want to. Back to my last donation, I understand if you don't want to add me on Discord, but after we discuss it, you can block me if you would like. I just want to have a discussion about Dr. K. I feel like it might be interesting. No, I will not have private discussions with anybody who donates any amount of money. I'm not doing private calls with people. I get a lot of requests for them. I'm saying no to all of them. I get requests for private calls for lots of money, and I'm saying no to everything. I don't want to do that for a lot of reasons. But I appreciate the donations. Everyone support the streams, $5. Please do not donate money to me, Mr. Girl. I do not want your money. Twisted Peepee for $2.69. Sorry I'm broke, but I don't know that didn't know Dr. K has disciples. This is way more scary and intriguing. Strong BioShock vibes. I've never played the first BioShock. I only played the third one, but thank you for the donation. I should probably play that. The Dude Hole. I think you've donated before. Thank you. $10. I tried telling my grandmother about you and explaining why you've been misunderstood by the public. Even showed some of your raps. She just said that you need Jesus. Then when I told her you were Jewish, she then called you a Christ-killing K-word. Frowny face. Sounds like Granny's got a ways to go before she's going to be on board. But I appreciate you trying. A $5 donation from Melina Pog. Well, thanks, Melina. If that was in fact you. Is there a way I can investigate this? Probably not. Well, thanks, Melina. Even if it wasn't you, for inspiring somebody to give me $5. Door Wizard gave me $3. Domino's Pizza is self-harm and video games are escapism. That's the line that we're drawing between self-harm and escapism. I like Domino's. I eat a lot of Domino's. It's Shaylin's favorite restaurant. Domino's is my girlfriend's favorite restaurant, but I still wouldn't accept a sponsorship from them. I remember loosely Dr. K saying he'd be there for Byron for a year and then not following through, so I'm wondering if during your video research you encountered anything like that, because I don't remember vividly. I saw a clip of that in a different video, but I think what I remember from the clip is that Dr. K said he would be there for Byron for 2 years. And then in the next stream he said that he had over-promised. And I actually think that was a good moment. I think it's bad that it happened in public, and so I still have the overall problems. But therapists make mistakes, and admitting that you made a mistake is the best you can do. So, I actually think that was Dr. K's one of his better, more vulnerable moments. It was a mistake, and it was like a kind of bad mistake, but I think with a client like Byron, I assume it's. I mean, the guy was asking him to hang out personally to do shrooms together, like constantly pushing against boundaries, and so the fact that he slipped through once, I don't have any like strong judgment about that. Okay. Melina gave me $1. I am definitely Melina. I promise. Okay, well then thank you, Melina. I really appreciate that. Plush gave me $1. Dr. K has a really huge cock. Thanks. Thanks for making me say that. LaMelo Ball fan 420 Ball for life gave me $5. Do you practice eye contact with the webcam? I enjoy the way you're looking at me. I enjoy the way you look at me through the internet. No, I don't practice it. I mean, I'm already doing it several hours a week. I don't. Well, I think as a YouTuber, I'm used to looking at the camera. Like when I'm filming myself, I'm not, like sometimes I have a monitor set up, but I'm not going to look at the monitor of myself talking. So I think I'm just used to it. Although I routinely have people in like real life freak out by making eye contact with me. So, but it's not like a practice thing. Averin gave me $5. Duke Nukem voice. I am in your walls. L. Thank you. Mike Possibilities gave me $5. I started out thinking I disliked you and disagree with you on almost everything. Now I disagree with you even more, but I think I like you a lot. Anxious to see what rocks you turn over next. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the kind of what that person was saying before about like separating the work or the ideas from the person. You can like my stuff without liking me. You can like me without liking my stuff. I think it's dangerous to conflate them, because then you're agreeing with ideas that you don't actually agree with, and you're saying shit you don't really believe, and you're thinking shit you don't even really think, just because you like me and you feel like you should or you have to, and I don't want to be part of that. Poopy Butthole gave me $3. If you want us to, I don't know, I don't think I'm going to read that out loud, but thank you for the offer. Do you think it's wrong not to thank us for getting the hype train to level 5? Let's talk about that. Here's the problem. Every time, even reading these donations, every time I read one, the stream is good, really good for the person who sent the donation. And if it's like a kind of boring message or average message, the stream gets a little worse for everybody else. Every time I thank somebody for subscribing, which I've only done once and will never do again, the stream gets really good for that person and really boring. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we know you have to do this. I say, I don't have to do it. I don't think we have to do that. I don't think most of the people watching don't care that whatever the hype train got to, they don't care. It's just boring, repetitive shit that I'm saying just to make you feel like you had an effect on me or the stream for a second with your money. I can tell you I appreciate the donations overall, but I don't want to make the stream a commercial for itself. And I think that overall, two things. One, I want to make money. I honestly think that I will make more money in the long run if I don't make my streams tedious sound effects and images and me thanking you for money. I think I disagree with, I think it's short-term thinking. I want my streams to be interesting, concise. I want you to know that when you log onto my stream, you're not going to be hearing me saying thank you to 20 different people in a row. It's just going to be content, and it's not going to be interrupted no matter how much money you throw at me. I do want to read the donations at the end because I think that's kind of a compromise. But people leave when I start reading them because it's the most boring part of the stream, because it's just random thoughts from random people, and I'm reading them because you paid me. When I talk to chat, I am curating as I'm reading, and I'm responding to stuff that I want to respond to or that I think is interesting or challenging or whatever. So do you think it's wrong not to thank us? No, I think I'm making the right decision morally and purely from a selfish perspective of just wanting to make good content so that I can be proud of it and make more money. It just feels like, to me, a no-brainer to just be like, let's not let the donations and money and subscriptions and all the stuff that you're giving to support the stream. Let's not make that tank the stream. We don't want to fuck up the content by you supporting it. So it's nice that you're supporting it, but then it just becomes a boring cycle of you paying me to talk about how you're paying me. So if you want to donate, donate. And if you don't, then don't. But don't count on the stream turning into a big acknowledgement of money flowing in. Let's make donation text to speech. I feel like you didn't understand what I just fucking said. I was joking, you got trolled. Yes, oh, I know. I didn't think you were completely serious. I just wanted to address the overall. I'm not really. If I'm annoyed at anybody, it's just Twitch culture overall seems to have normalized like that, and I don't want to be part of that. Are you telling the truth, or do you not know how to set up TTS and alerts because of your age? It could be both. Mr. Girl, cute bot when? I DM'd her, she didn't respond. I DM cute bot every day. She never responds. No, I only DM'd her once, but I'll DM cute bot every 6 months until she responds. If I donate, will you write my name on a whiteboard? No. Okay, I got a donation from somebody telling me not to read this boring shit. So I guess I won't. Alerts are cringe. Your setup is great. I'm glad you feel that way. Mr. Girl. You frame Dr. K as a villain when he's more morally gray. No, I don't, you fuck. Well, I'll read the rest. The way you have phrased your critiques of Dr. Cray as he doesn't care about others and he's only there to make you cry are absent of evidence. Well, allow me to make a big, juicy, fucking long, veiny video about it, motherfucker, and then you'll see my goddamn evidence. He clearly puts effort into his advice stream, simplifying complex psychological or neuroscience concepts that seem to aid his audience. I'd say he's probably in over his head, attempting to help everyone and as a result stretching himself too thin. When I say he doesn't care about others, I don't mean that as like he's choosing not to. I think he has trouble emotionally connecting with other people. I think he cares in the altruistic sense, where there is no such thing as altruism, and people like him and also me get misty-eyed thinking about helping the masses. But on an interpersonal level, I think he has trouble understanding and making space for the emotional experience of other people when he's talking to them. And that is part of my criticism of him. He's only there to make you cry. I don't think I said that, but I did say that it feels like he's making like a TV show about somebody crying, and that is supposed to be a kind of stand-in for therapy, which is not accurate. And then there's a switcheroo where he's... Oh, well, I explained it earlier, but I get what you're saying. I'm not talking about his intentions. Dr. K has good intentions. That is obvious across the board. I'm saying what he's actually doing is unethical. And in some cases, very unethical. And in some cases, less so. His streams where he just talks about ideas, like when he's functioning as just like a book, basically, where he's just telling you his ideas, I think his streams are good. That's the time to be broad and give platitudes and give one-size-fits-all solutions. That's fine. He's just being a self-help guru. My problem is when he does that in conversations with people where he's railroading them into having a specific emotional response and then patching it up with platitudes. I think that is unethical. Have you seen the Dr. K drunk stream? No, not yet. I will watch it. Dr. K tried to get him to go to therapy. What was he supposed to do? Call the cops in Austin and say there's a guy named Byron somewhere in Austin who might harm himself? Yes. Yes. When someone is that suicidal, yes. I think you're supposed to call the cops. I don't know. I will ask the ethics board if they get back to me, or the licensing board, or whoever. My plan to interview as many professionals about this as I can, so that I'm not just making like claims of my own and my own personal interpretation of the rules. I want to get as many people to talk about this as I can and present their views. But yeah, I'm pretty sure if somebody says some of the things that Byron said, you are supposed to call the police. I think so, yeah. Dr. K already said he ranks highly on the sociopathy scale. Okay. Well, that makes sense. You know, ironically, Byron was the one who pioneered donations and stuff on this platform. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Interview the anti-work moderator. Okay, I'll look into it. Yeah, I saw that in the Discord. People were talking about it. It looks like there are people who watch you who have little to no understanding of what you're about. Do you notice this? Is it weird? No one understands what I'm about except you. No. Yeah, I mean, I think this is because I'm growing at the moment, so there's a lot of new people who are like, what the fuck is going on here? I think that's understandable. It seems to take people, like you see, there's like one of the donation messages was like, I used to hate you. It seems like there's people who take like months to kind of make up their mind about how they feel about my content. Can you give an example outside of the wreckful situation where Dr. K railroaded someone into a forced emotional response? Yes. Yvonne. Or Ivani. I don't know. I think she goes, I think her real name is Yvonne. Would she call in to talk about streamer burnout or imposter syndrome or something? And then he had her talking about sexual assault and pressed her to give the name of her assaulter for like half an hour. It's very, very, very weird. He's not always successful at railroading people, but yeah, the framework of I can't be too specific now because I don't want to misquote. I like to be very precise, so I'll do it in the video. But basically, asking you about your childhood, saying that child is still here within you and that you're trying to protect that child. I think he steers a lot of conversations in that direction, which will make pretty much anybody burst into tears. Have you heard Byron's story about the bad time he had in a mental ward that led him to avoid professional help? No. But I will find it. I'm gonna write that down in case it's. Is that in one of the Dr. K streams? If it's not, I'll find it. I put it on my little notepad here though. Find the stream of Byron talking about his bad mental hospital stay after his first suicide attempt. Period. Don't you think other people, including Dr. K, have already spoken with ethics boards about this? I have no idea. I don't know. Sometimes people are too lazy to just watch 12 hours of streams. Have you thought about a research stream? Yes. But I don't think I can function normally. I'm not that good at multitasking. So I don't want to do that. What are your thoughts on watching incest porn? Well, I think it is likely that you're watching it because of some weird feelings you have in your family, something about your actual life. I don't think it is just a fantasy. I think it's a little more linked to real stuff. And I think it's worth figuring out what that real stuff is. I don't know. I want to like read more about like, can fantasies be self-harm? I feel like they can. I feel like there's ways you can think about things compulsively or just deeply that could be bad for you. But also not thinking about things can be bad for you. Maybe everything's just bad for you. I don't know. I have no moral qualms with incest porn. My only concern about incest porn is it harmful to you watching it? I think that would be my main issue. I could also see how, like, if you have like weird feelings about your sister, maybe watching incest porn could like help you manage those and help you be less weird towards her. I don't know. Basically, I have no idea. I'm open to a lot of ideas, and I'm going to do some research. Call the police and say what? There's some guy named Byron somewhere in Austin who might harm himself? No, I'm pretty sure that the police can find somebody if they have their first and last name and city. That you know, you can. I don't know what I'm not the fucking ethics board. I don't know what you're supposed to fucking say when somebody's gonna kill themselves. I'll find out and I'll get back to you. She didn't give out the name of her assaulter, but it became almost blatantly obvious considering her public persona. Right? Yeah, she gave it out after in the twit longer. But I felt like he had decided that the conversation would climactically end with her telling her truth, and chipped away at a lot of her resistance to get there. Reckful had friends watching him pretty much at all times because he was suicidal for over 20 years and nothing, including therapy, worked. You don't know what you're talking about here. You're just making assumptions. That has no bearing on whether what Dr. K did was ethical or not. I am not saying the problem is... I'm not talking about the ends justify the means. I'm not saying what the problem with what Dr. K did is the outcome. I'm saying Dr. K broke the rules. He broke the rules and my rules. And then also, that looks worse and makes me more horrified because of what happened. You cannot take... It is a failure when your patient kills themselves. If you are a therapist and your patient kills themselves, that is a failure. Your job is to keep people from doing that. And if you fail, you cannot then say, no, it's the patient's fault. They fucked up. Like, no, you're taking that person into your care. Failures are a part of the job and a part of your life. You are going to fail. That's inevitable. But if you are breaking the ethical rules while you fail and then the person dies, I think that you need to be held to account for that. So again, it's not a statement of causality. This all seems like Mr. Girl projecting about his own snake oil. It could be. I want to be as transparent about that as possible. And yeah, I don't know. If I'm projecting, I wouldn't know. What is your opinion on the spiritual side? I think I have to form my opinion a little bit more on that, but it does feel a bit like he's like a one-size-fits-all. It's reductionist and very like oversimplifying, I guess. It's my problem is not what he does, it's more what he doesn't do. I feel like he, in these conversations, does not make room for the other person to actually express anything to him. It feels like he just gets the bare minimum amount of information he needs to plug in variables into something that he already thinks. It also leads to him... It creates a dynamic where he's teaching you, and that's a role shift. tell me about your life, and then in 5 minutes from now, suddenly I'm a spiritual guru teaching you about like Hindu mysticism, and now I'm monologuing for 5 minutes and teaching you new Indian words that you've never heard. That's not normal in therapy. In my experience and my education, that's it's different. It's just a different role. If he was like just a self-help person guru, and he was like, I want to teach you about this thing, but give me an example from your life so I can teach it to you, that would be one thing. But it's framed as like a more therapeutic interview, but it's not an interview. An interview, the goal is to get information from the other person into you, not the other way around. Anyway, that's just a summation. I don't want to talk too much more about this because my ideas are not fully formed, and I'm going to start going into territory where I don't really know if I think what I'm saying. I'm pretty secure on what I've said so far, but I don't want to go further. I like incest porn because the storyline is often much better than normal, and the taboo aspect of it makes it much more enjoyable. I also watch trans porn, but I don't really have much of a desire to have sex with a trans person. Yeah, I'm not saying that like I'm not saying liking incest porn means you have a real desire to have sex with a family member. I'm saying that it probably is a reflection of, or like echo of, something in your life. Okay. If you just watch some incest porn, I'm not saying this means that you should like do like a deep dive of your own psychology. I just think if you're asking about it and you're wondering about it, and if it's like something you're obsessed with, it's worth looking at. Slush TV, be prepared to be misinterpreted. All right, buddy. I appreciate that. Slush TV is the guy who made the other critical of Dr. K video that we were talking about. I know there's a few more that I should watch. That's the only one I've seen. All right. I am going to stop streaming, but I'm going to check the donations one more time. Val gave me $5. Hi, short-time viewer, first-time donator. You don't have to read this. How do you feel about poker? Do you partake? Gambling makes me really anxious. So I have tried it in my 20s, and I pretty much sworn it off. It makes me kind of freak out. It's like a loss of control. Yeah. I don't like it. And I don't like it in video games either. Atlas 610, $5. You remind me of Rorschach from Watchmen. I appreciate that. You don't compromise on your morals even if the short-term results could be really bad. Rorschach doesn't compromise even if the long-term results could be really bad. That's what I strive for. Stephen Bonnell gave me $1. I love you. Thanks for giving me a career. You're welcome. You're welcome, buddy. Stay safe. All right. Check the bits. Wait, I don't think there aren't messages with bits though, right? Are you just fucking with me? I think I've read all the messages that there are going to be. I don't. Right, you're just fucking with me. Yo, Max, what are your degree studies in? I have a degree in psychology and an unofficial, bachelor's of science in psychology and a unofficial minor in English. I don't know what an unofficial minor is, but that's what they gave me. Would you interview Moist Critical if it was arranged? Of course. He and I are in it. We have to talk at some point. Absolutely. I think that's in my future. Here's a message paid for by bits. Oh, so just in the chat? Yeah. Oh, do they all show up in the same place? I like you, but don't platform Destiny. That guy sucks and he platforms bad people all the time. You know, Destiny Unleashed. This is all Destiny's fault. If anybody gets mad at me about this Dr. K video, just get mad at Destiny. All right, we're gonna raid Not So Erudite. She's new. She talked to Destiny a few days ago. She's a new streamer. I'm talking to her on Thursday about Dr. K and mental health and just whatever we feel like talking about. So, you know, be polite. Thank you all. Yeah, she's the psych person. Maybe she'll give you some preliminary hot takes on Dr. K. Raiders assemble. When's the next call-in stream? Call-ins are always Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And my next stream, I think that is going to be my next stream, unless something comes up on Saturday. But that might be it. We will see what happens. Can you have a Friday call-in show where people can confront you on random stuff? I've been thinking about that. I'm trying to figure out a way to format people calling in to yell at me or confront me. Yeah, I actually do want to do that. So I don't know if I'll do it this Friday. It would probably be Saturday. But yeah, I'll talk to my mods about that, see what they think. Goodbye, horses.